Rod Stewart is one of rock and roll's most enduring voices, with a career spanning more than 5 decades. But behind the glitz, fame, and #1 hits lies a deeply personal regret that fame couldn't erase. While the world saw him as a charming playboy with stadiums full of screaming fans, Stewart himself carried a heavy burden, a private pain that he only admitted when he was well into his 70s. What could make one of music's most confident legends confess that he wasn't there when it mattered most? Rod Stewart's journey to superstardom began in the streets of North London, where he grew up in a working-class family. Born in 1945, Stewart was initially more interested in football than music. But by the early 1960s, the mod movement and British blues explosion captured his heart, and he began singing in clubs, inspired by legends like Sam Cooke and Muddy Waters. In 1967, Stewart's life changed when he joined the Jeff Beck Group as lead vocalist. With Beck's fiery guitar work and Stewart's raspy, soulful voice, they created a raw, bluesy sound that would lay the foundation for heavy rock. Albums like Truth earned Stewart a reputation as one of the most unique singers in the scene. By 1969, Stewart had joined Faces, fronting the band alongside Ronnie Wood, who would later join the Rolling Stones. Faces became famous for their rowdy, high-energy shows, but Stewart's solo career soon eclipsed the band's success. In 1971, his breakout hit Maggie May topped charts worldwide, transforming him from a respected rock singer into a global star. The 1970s cemented Stewart's image. Wild hair, flamboyant outfits, and a string of hits that blended rock, soul, and folk influences. But as his fame skyrocketed, his private life became tabloid fodder. Stewart's playboy reputation grew with every relationship and headline. Behind the scenes, he was living fast and enjoying every perk of superstardom, something he would later admit came at a tremendous cost. Rod Stewart's rise to fame was meteoric, but it wasn't without its personal sacrifices. By the late 1970s, he had become one of the highest-paid performers in the world. With albums like A Night on the Town and Blondes Have More Fun, Stewart transitioned from a gritty rock star to a mainstream pop icon. The single Do You Think I'm Sexy became an international sensation, but its disco influence alienated some longtime fans. Stewart didn't seem bothered at the time. He was touring stadiums, buying mansions, and living what many would call a dream life. Yet behind the scenes, the pressures of constant touring and a rock and roll lifestyle began to catch up with him. Stewart became known for his string of relationships and marriages, including his high-profile union with model Alana Hamilton. He fathered children with multiple partners, but later admitted that during his busiest years, he was too focused on his music and fame to be fully present for his family. In a candid interview decades later, Stewart confessed, "I wasn't there as much as I should have been. I was too focused on my career." This was a striking revelation from someone known for his confidence and swagger. The superstar image masked a reality that many rock icons faced: relentless pressure to stay relevant, grueling schedules, and the emotional distance created by fame. By the 1980s, Stewart was selling out arenas, but his personal life was far less stable. Multiple divorces, custody battles, and strained relationships with his older children weighed heavily on him. It wasn't until much later in life, after a cancer diagnosis, that he truly reckoned with the price of his fame and what he had lost along the way. In 2016, Rod Stewart revealed something that shocked his fans. He had quietly been battling prostate cancer. Unlike many celebrities who share their diagnoses publicly, Stewart chose to keep his illness private until he was in remission. During a charity event in 2019, he finally opened up about his fight, explaining that he didn't want pity and preferred to focus on recovery. The diagnosis was a turning point for Stewart. The man who had always seemed larger than life, strutting across stages in glittering suits, suddenly found himself vulnerable. He described the experience as terrifying, admitting that it forced him to reevaluate his priorities. Stewart was known for his relentless work ethic, but cancer made him realize that even he wasn't invincible. This life-threatening moment gave him a new perspective on family. Stewart had been blessed with 8 children from 5 different relationships. But he admitted that, for many years, he had been absent during key moments of their upbringing. Reflecting on those years, he said he regretted letting fame and the music industry consume so much of his time. His honesty about the illness struck a chord with fans around the world. Stewart didn't just share his story, he used it to raise awareness, urging men to get regular checkups. It was a rare moment of vulnerability from a rock icon who had always been known for confidence, style, and swagger. Now, for the first time in decades, Stewart began to slow down, focusing less on the spotlight and more on the relationships that truly mattered. By the time Stewart turned 74 in 2019, he was no longer just a rock star. He was a man reflecting deeply on his past. His confession that his greatest regret was not being there for his children resonated deeply with fans. For decades, Stewart was painted as a symbol of rock and roll excess. But behind that image was a father who wished he had been present for soccer games, birthdays, and milestones that passed him by while he was on tour. In interviews, Stewart has spoken openly about how he is now making up for lost time. He maintains close relationships with all his children, often posting pictures with them and expressing pride in their accomplishments. "Family is everything now," he said, explaining how his brush with cancer pushed him to cherish every moment. Stewart's journey from fame-driven superstar to reflective father and cancer survivor shows a rare kind of growth. Even after selling more than 120 million records, earning countless awards, and becoming a global icon, Stewart admits that no achievement in music compares to being there for his loved ones. This redemption arc has added depth to his legacy, transforming him from just another rock legend into a figure of resilience and wisdom. When Rod Stewart opened up about his regrets and cancer battle, the world responded with overwhelming support. Headlines that once focused on his wild personal life shifted to praise his courage and honesty. Fans who grew up with Stewart's music felt a deeper connection to him than ever before, and many thanked him for speaking out about prostate cancer awareness. Stewart's willingness to show vulnerability was rare in the rock world, where legends often prefer to maintain a larger-than-life persona. Instead, Stewart embraced his humanity, admitting his flaws and sharing lessons learned. This transparency only enhanced his reputation, making him not just a celebrated singer, but also a relatable figure. Despite his struggles, Rod Stewart's musical achievements remain legendary. With hits like Maggie May, Tonight's the Night, and Sailing, he shaped the sound of multiple decades. From fronting the Faces in the early 70s to selling out arenas as a solo artist, Stewart proved his staying power. His gravelly voice, sharp fashion sense, and signature spiky hair became trademarks of a career that earned him a knighthood in 2016 for services to music and charity. Stewart's resilience mirrors his music, timeless, unapologetic, and full of heart. Even now, in his late 70s, he continues to tour, but with a renewed focus on balance and family life, a stark contrast to his early years of fame. As Rod Stewart reflects on his life, he sees it as a story of reinvention. Once defined by excess, he is now a family man who values time over fame. He's spoken openly about being grateful for a second chance, both in health and in life. His legacy extends beyond chart-topping hits. It's a testament to perseverance, personal growth, and authenticity. Thanks for watching. Click here to check another video and make sure to subscribe to our channel.